What to remember when designing forms. Hi there, I'm Paul Braddock, UX designer working at Corp Insurance. I'm going to give you 4 golden rules when designing a form. But when did you last use a form? To sign up to this event? To order a takeaway? We use a lot of forms at Corp, across food, legal, insurance, and membership. From buying food online, signing up or into membership, buying a funeral plan, getting a will, or even getting insurance cover. Forms are the centre of every meaningful interaction, and good user experience encourages users to return. We are one co-op, so if our customers find any product inaccessible, they are unlikely to return to another co-op product or service. And we know that 83% of people with access needs limit their shopping to websites they know are barrier-free. Let me repeat that. 83% of people with access needs limit their shopping to websites they know are barrier-free. And forms can attract a lot of usability and accessibility issues. Generally, they face the same problems, so it is important we create design patterns that saves time for the designer, but more importantly, creates consistency for the user experience. And that's where the Co-op design system comes in. Laura Kalbag writes in her book, Accessibility for Everyone, 4 broad parameters that improve the user experience. Visual, make it easy to see. Auditory, make it easy to hear. Motor, make it easy to interact with. Cognitive, make it easy to understand. When designing a form, I follow 4 golden rules. 1. Provide context to the user. 2. Allow users to change their answer. 3. Provide users with examples for clarity. And 4. Provide users with a reason why we may need certain information. And here are a couple of other recommendations to make your forms more accessible. Use a single column form. It's important to create consistency across devices and not to disrupt the vertical rhythm a keyboard user, for example, would take. A clear flow helps improve the relationship between the label and the input field, which would affect visual impaired users who may have tunnel vision, just like the example in the background. Use focus state. I'm surprised when I use some websites and focus isn't used. It is mainly to help keyboard users move through a page by jumping from one interaction element to the next. Focus states let users know which element they're currently on and that it is ready to be interacted with. But remember, always to check that the colours you use have a strong colour contrast ratio. And use plain English. Often we can focus on the interactive elements of a form when it comes to accessibility, but content is also of significant importance. Headings, labels, legends, hint text, error messages. They all need to be clear, concise, specific, consistent, and human. To some users, English may be their second language. They may be dyslexic or require the use of a screen reader, or in some cases, all 3. We therefore aim to write content for a reading age of 9, and forms are no different. And that's why use plain English is my 5th and final golden rule for today's talk. But if I can give you one takeaway from today, not just on forms, but out of all the topics that have been covered, is this. If you want to be inclusive, start with being accessible, because when you do, everyone benefits. Thank you for listening. I hope you found my talk useful.